If this was the last time that we see Lance Lynn in a St. Louis Cardinals uniform, what a way to go out. This is Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafford, and I'm a national radio sports anchor, born and raised in the Lou, and a lifetime Cardinals fan. And I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. Follow me on Twitter, @JD Sports Radio, and the podcast @LO_Cardinals. We want to thank those of you who make Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Free and available wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on YouTube. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. So the St. Louis Cardinals defeat the Pittsburgh Pirates on Tuesday night. Final score, 3-1, which doesn't really sound like a very interesting game when you just look at what the score was, but it was. It was a very entertaining game because the story of this game was not so much what the final score was, but the story was Cardinal starter Lance Lynn, the burly, rugged old man who doesn't take any crap from anybody. He was back at it again on Tuesday night, throwing fastball after fastball after fastball. He was doing Lance Lynn things, right? With the occasional wrinkle here and there, just to keep the hitters off balance. And outside of the one solo home run, he looked as good as he's looked all season, man. You would never know that this guy's been dealing with right knee inflammation. He battled through it. And it's unfortunate that, we're seeing him pitch as well as he is right now at this point of the year, because selfishly, the Cardinals are all but done, and we would have loved to have had this Lance Lynn the whole season. We've seen him do this at home a lot this year, to be honest, but the Cardinal season's pretty much done, and sadly, so is Lance Lynn, at least for this season and possibly in the future as well. Now, last night was going to be the last time that we see Lance Lynn pitch in a Cardinals uniform this year. There was speculation about it after the game, but just a few moments ago, it was announced officially that he's going on the injured list with right knee inflammation. His season is over, and it might be the last time that we actually see him pitch in a Cardinals uniform or even a major league uniform ever again. Some of the comments after the game certainly suggested that this might be it for Lance Lynn, specifically in a Cardinals uniform, but just kind of the tone of everything makes you feel like he might be done altogether. This is what he said after the game. Obviously, if this was your last start at Busch Stadium, you don't want to lose. It was that simple. I had my family here, brothers, dad, and everybody here, so I couldn't lose in front of them. As far as pitching anymore this year, he said last night that if this is my last start as a Cardinal, I'd like it to be in St. Louis, and that's exactly what has happened now that they have placed him on the injured list and his season is over, which is, something I've discussed on this show before, that, at this point of the year, I've seen what Lance Lynn can do, and I've seen what Miles Michaelis can do, and I've seen what Kyle Gibson can do. These are guys that, at least Gibson and Lynn, probably aren't going to be here next year. Probably not. It would shock me, honestly. Gibson, I would think, has a better chance of returning than Lance Lynn, but I still don't see them doing that when it appears that you've got some other answers in your organization already to fill out this rotation. Obviously, Michaelis has got the huge price tag, so I don't foresee him going anywhere, but you never know. The guy I'm really curious about, and I think most fans are curious about, is Michael McGreevy, who, he came up earlier this year, had an excellent debut, then was sent back down to Memphis and continued to pitch pretty darn well down in AAA. He is the other portion of this transaction. He has been officially recalled with Lynn going on the IL. He would seemingly step into Lance Lynn's spot in the rotation, right? They've been going with this 6-man rotation, which, is unique anyway. But it seems like that would be the simple, smart thing to do. We will talk more about this coming up in the next segment, because we've got a little bit of potential drama there too. But let's focus on Lance Lynn a little bit more here, because if you're an everydayer and you've been with me since the beginning of the season, you know that I was not in favor of them signing Lance Lynn this offseason. I wanted nothing to do with it. I even tweeted out, "Don't you dare, Mo," when he became a free agent. I was like, no, don't do it. Because to me, not because of Lance Lynn's personality or anything like that. All of that stuff we're cool with. We like Lance as a guy. But the skill set had diminished enough in my eyes that it wasn't going to be a big enough upgrade for this rotation, an upgrade that this team needed to become a playoff team, which is what I wanted after a disgusting 71 and 91 season. That's what I was hoping for. I liked the Sonny Gray signing. I was cool with the Kyle Gibson signing, but I didn't understand why Lance Lynn was being brought in. And I was right. He wasn't enough. He wasn't. They needed more. They needed more than him. They needed more than Kyle Gibson as well. And hey, frankly, more than Sonny Gray was able to give this year too. But Lance Lynn wasn't enough. But he was a lot, and I'm going to admit this, he was a lot better than I thought he was going to be. You know, he gave up all those home runs last year, was able to bring that back down to a normal level here in 2024. Finishes the year 7-4, 3.84 ERA, third among Cardinal starters. He got 23 starts out of him. You were hoping for more, but at his advanced age 37, you know, it's going to happen where they're not going to give you 30 to 33 starts. Did have 109 strikeouts and 117 in the third innings. Gave you 7 quality starts. It's pretty good. Again, a lot better than I thought we were going to get. All right. His numbers at home really stand out. 6-0 this season. 3.15 ERA, 9.4 strikeouts per 9. The dude got it done in front of the home crowd, that's for sure. In fact, John Denton points this out, that Lynn is actually 9-0 since July 4th of 2017 and has not lost at Busch Stadium in 21 consecutive starts, an NL mark that trails only the 22 straight starts without a loss by Clayton Kershaw at Dodger Stadium from 2018 to 2019. Lynn is 46-20. All-time at Busch Stadium, and his .697 winning percentage at the park is 4th best in team history. So when people talk about him, is he going to be a future Cardinal Hall of Famer or not? It seems like he should be, right? Like there's nothing about this that says, nah, he wasn't good enough. First off, the fans love him. Second off, he was pretty darn good in a Cardinal uniform in his career. And admit it, this season, seeing him back in the uniform, even though it was a little bit bigger than we remember, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see him come back. He just fits with the birds on the bat on his chest, and his presence in the clubhouse apparently was sensational. John Denton wrote about this at MLB.com. Lynn's lasting legacy, Cardinals manager Ali Marmol said, could be the insight that he has poured into younger pitchers, namely Andre Pallante and Matthew Liberatore. The Cardinals had hoped that by signing veterans Kyle Gibson and Lynn, that they would help shepherd others in need of seasoning. Behind closed doors and away from the glare of Busch Stadium, Lynn has held up his end of the bargain. Marmol marveled, saying he's been incredible, and I've loved every second of him being here. I think we picked the right guy to come in and help mold the culture in ways that matter. And that's something that you love to hear. You know, I would hope that if he does decide to hang up his cleats altogether and he's just going to be done after the season, that I hope he's one of those guys that continues to come back and become sort of a staple at spring training and at Cardinals events in the future, to talk with the guys coming up through the system, continue to share the knowledge and wisdom that he's picked up over his 13-year career, 7 of which were in a St. Louis Cardinals uniform. Obviously, the fans are always going to love it when Lance Lynn is around. Everybody just thrives off of the attitude. In the postgame interview last night, Jim Hayes was talking to Jordan Walker about, you know, how do you guys feed off of what Lance Lynn does out there? And he's like, oh, absolutely. You know, and that's the kind of stuff you want. That's what you want. So he'll be missed, man. Kudos. I'm sorry that I didn't want you on the team this year. It seems like it worked out nicely for everybody involved. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to get the Cardinals to the playoffs, but I don't put any blame on Lance Lynn. He again, like Denton says, kind of lived up to his side of the bargain of what we were getting into this year. So I want to get into the Michael McGreevy stuff next, because in Katie Woo's tweet about the Cardinals bringing him back up, she mentioned something that's already it's got me shaking my head, man. We're going to get into it next here on Locked on Cardinals. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Well, got something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, so you got a couple more days here, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV-based plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. They're all there for you. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime, which is also a beautiful thing about it, because, some people need it. You crave it. You love the NFL stuff on Sunday. Others are kind of like, well, I'll pay attention. And maybe you don't need everything that's involved with the NFL Sunday Ticket. But I'm telling you, if you're a football fan and you haven't had it yet, oh, are you in for a treat? You are in for a treat. You'll be able to see all of those out-of-market games that you're missing, whether it's, my Packers, or you're still watching the Rams, the Chiefs, who are on national TV a lot, obviously. Maybe you're a Cowboys fan. Maybe you like the Jets or something like that. Whoever it may be, NFL Sunday Ticket, right up your alley. You're going to love it, and make sure you jump in on this opportunity and test it out for yourself before it's gone. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to download America's #1 sportsbook. Now that the season is winding down, we're in our final homestand with the Cardinals. Gametime can still get you in to Busch Stadium with plenty of seats remaining, and help you get the spot you want to watch your favorite players here at the end of the season, because they are an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, and it makes getting tickets easier. You get to do it faster. And they've got so many great deals for you leading up to first pitch. They got killer last-minute deals. They get you the all-in prices. They got those flash deals. You can save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or event. Zone deals is something they do, too, where you can save even more when you choose a section and let Gametime choose the seats for you. You get the view. You get the panoramic view to know exactly where you're going to be. Plus, it's the lowest price guarantee, or Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Gametime. Heck, take the guesswork out of buying tickets for any event that you're interested in, whether it's the NFL, whether it's college, going to a Mizzou game, concerts, comedy, theater. Gametime has got you covered on all of it. Just download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB. We'll save you some money there. $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDONMLB, for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Thank you for making Locked on Cardinals your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the Locked on MLB podcast, hosted by our buddy Sully, who is here daily to provide national expertise with his trademark humor. You can prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, which is on Locked on MLB, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day. Remember, you can catch every pitch of the Cardinals' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Download the SXM app, search the word Cardinals. With Lynn done for the year, officially, the Cardinals have decided to finally call Michael McGreevy back up. And Katie Woo from The Athletic tweeted this: expect Michael McGreevy, who was scratched from his start for Memphis yesterday, to join the Cardinals' active roster today. This is before the Cardinals officially made the move. The odd part about her tweet is that her next line reads, with St. Louis mulling over potential rotation changes, seems likely that McGreevy will be available in long relief, at least for now. You're kidding me, right? You're kidding me. You're kidding me. You're not going to do that. Please tell me you're not going to do that. Please tell me you guys aren't going to bring up Michael McGreevy, a starter, and stick him in the bullpen and make him a long reliever. Because if that is your plan, John Mozeliak and whoever else is making these decisions, immediately punch yourself in the nose as hard as you can and see your way out of the room, because that's moronic. For the love of God, can we not do this ridiculous yo-yo thing again with one of your young starting pitchers? I beg you, do not do that. I'm going to give you examples. You did it with Zach Thompson. Kind of derailed his early career. We're not sure what the heck's going to happen with Zach Thompson anymore. Currently a starter down at Memphis, but back and forth, up and down, reliever, starter. We don't know what to do. You did it with Matthew Liberatore. Finally saw the error of your way this season. Let him focus on being a relief pitcher. You stuck to it, and look how well he's done. Looks good now, right? He's one of the best you've got in the bullpen. Another great job on Tuesday night. You did it with Andre Palante, who had to ask to become a starter again before he started to, pan out. You had him as a reliever. Pretty good his first year. Went backwards, regressed. Things didn't look like they were getting any better. Had some issues this year. He says, dude, let me try starting. You backed it up, but it was his idea, apparently, to become a starter again. And now look at him. It looks like he's probably going to be one of your guys in the rotation next year. But again, you're back and forth. You don't know what the hell you want to do. You're like my wife trying to decide on what she wants to eat for dinner. Should I be healthy? I don't know. This sounds pretty good. Make up your mind. Michael McGreevy is a starting pitcher. He is not a reliever. Don't put him in the bullpen. Don't make him a reliever. If that's what you're going to do, just leave him in Memphis and let him continue to start and pull somebody else up. Don't screw around with him, please. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to make him do something that he hasn't been doing all year over the final couple weeks of this season. Don't throw him into a game out of the bullpen and then ruin his ability to start on Sunday. In fact, I wish he just threw tonight. I wish they would just bump everybody back, let him go tonight, so you're not throwing him off his normal routine. But it's going to be sunny gray tonight. Eric Fetty tomorrow. Kyle Gibson after that. Then Michaelis starts again, although he wasn't dog poop in his last game in Toronto, but he wasn't all that good either. And then I assume it's going to be McGreevy or Steven Matz for Sunday. They got the TBA going there right now. And then Palante is up again. So, but whatever you do, whatever you guys decide to do, make sure that he's starting. Please. Please. I think they will, but you just never know with this organization sometimes. It's baffling. Anyway, more on last night's win. I want to talk about the offense specifically, including that mammoth shot by Jordan Walker, because watching his at-bats last night, you see the struggling and you see the progression at the same time. You got a whole thing of Jordan Walker last night. I want to talk about him and the guys next on Locked On Cardinals. For most of us that like collecting cards, the idea of spending $2,000 or more on, a Luka Doncic card or an Ellie De La Cruz or a Mahomes rookie card just isn't in the cards. All right. You don't have the funds to do that. And, I love collecting, but that's some serious money to drop. And that's true. That's a lot of money. But thanks to slab packs from arenaclub.com, now it's possible to score gem mints for a fraction of their retail price. Every card that I listed was hit from last week's Arena Club slab pack drop. Arena Club is the only repack that actually provides real value. All right. It's a complete view of all possible cards and clear hit rates for each one. And card collecting is blowing up once again. And I remember as a kid, and it was awesome. And then it went away for a while, and now it's back, and people are loving it. And I think it's fantastic. Arena Club slab packs, they're helping revolutionize the repack game with transparency. After your pulls are revealed, they'll immediately be placed in your showroom for safekeeping, selling, trading, auction, whatever you decide you want to do with it. The Arena Club grading process, it's accurate, it's fast, it's transparent with a full grade, rationale provided, and explanation of how your card was scored. They don't just give it to you and then you're like, that's it. Bye. That's not how it works. Not how it works. So whether you're buying, selling, trading, or displaying, Arena Club is the card collecting platform that you just have to check out. Right now, you can get 10% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/LockedOnMLB and use the code LockedOnMLB. That's LOCKEDON MLB. That's arenaclub.com/LockedOnMLB. Code LockedOnMLB for 10% off your first purchase. Thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen today. Now go check out the Locked On MLB podcast. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has you covered every single day. You can find the link to Locked On MLB in the description, so you don't have to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So after Lynn's awesome performance last night, there was still some work to be done. And although the offense didn't do a whole lot, they did just enough to pick up the win last night. Early on, some frustrating at-bats, to say the least, by Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado, which has just been all too familiar this season and is a big reason why the Cardinals are where they are. They just have not performed that great in key situations. Nobody has, really. It's not just on them, but last night, their at-bats stood out to me. First inning, Mason Wynn walks, although he got some help from the umpire. He probably should have been struck out. Lucan Baker grounds to first, but Rowdy Tellez, the throw sails. He's trying to turn two, throw sails into left field. So now you've got first and second, nobody out, with Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado coming to the plate. All right? You got a pitcher on the mound who's walked a guy, not happy with the strike zone. Then he gets an error from his first baseman. His head's probably all over the place. All the pressure's on him, and now he's got Goldy and Arenado, some future Hall of Famers walking up to the plate. So clearly, advantage Paul Goldschmidt, advantage Cardinals. And what does Paul do? He swings at the very first pitch, which was a curveball, mind you. And I don't care if you're looking breaking ball on the first pitch. It is no. You want to hit a fastball. Like, why would you be wanting to do that? And what does he do with it? First pitch, drills it right into the ground. 5-4-3 double play. Again, all the pressure is on the pitcher there. Why are you making his job easier? Like, make him work a little bit. Get a couple of pitches out of him. Why is that so difficult for this team? You just let him off the hook. You let him off the hook, swinging at a breaking ball in the first pitch. I don't get it. And then Arenado does nothing. He fouls out weakly into foul territory to let's at first base, and the inning's over. Just gross. Bottom of the third, my guy Michael Ciani doubles. He steals third. Mason Wynn hits a fly ball. It's too shallow. Can't advance him. Lucan Baker comes up. Big Luke ropes one to left. I still can't believe that ball stayed in the yard. I thought it was gone off the bat, but Busch Stadium is cavernous. So stays in the yard. Brian Reynolds out left. He thought he caught it. He was like, where the hell did it go? Lucan Baker, big man, gets a triple to left field, has this fantastic hook slide that he does. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Need to teach some NFL quarterbacks how to slide like that. That's how good it was. So he avoids the tag, so he's safe at third. We got a tie ball game. 1-1. Goldy comes up, just needs a sac fly, right? Ends up getting on first because of catcher's interference. So good, right? I tell you, I kid you not, when it happened, I was like, oh no, they're going to hit into another double play, aren't they? This is where that happens. And lo and behold, Nolan Arenado comes up. 2 on, 1 out. Once again, pressure all on the pitcher here. He's got to throw strikes. He's got to come to you. Maybe take a pitch. See how he's reacting to what just happened. Another triple, and then catcher's interference. Like, he's got to be frustrated, right? Nope. Arenado swings at the first pitch, which is a slider. Way worse pitch than what Goldschmidt swung at in that first inning. Way below the zone. Hits into an inning double play. Gross again. Like, just awful. Just awful. And maybe it's just a preference for me. Maybe it's just me. But first pitch swinging this ambush mentality, I freaking hate it. I hate it so much. It drives me nuts. Like, my head wants to explode when I watch these guys do it. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it. I know there's situations where you're like, well, maybe he's going to try to just get one over and you can take advantage of it. I rarely see it work out, at least when I'm watching. Maybe the stats are better than I think, but eye test, it seems like it fails over and over and over and over. And I'm sick of looking at it. I'm so sick of it. Bottom of the fourth inning, though. We get a good at bat. We get a fun at bat. That's when Jordan Walker steps up. He looked bad in the first at bat because they got him. He fastball away, and he does what Jordan Walker's been known to do. He tries to pull the outside pitch, and he rolls over on it and makes the out. And it was bad because there was a runner on second at the time. Donovan had a leadoff double, and you're just trying to go the opposite way to move the guy over. And he does the exact opposite on a pitch away, which would set you up to hit it that way. Instead, he rolls over on it, and Donovan can't advance. So not a great first at bat. Second at bat, though, they decide, shockingly to me, they decide not to throw Jordan Walker away. Like, they are hammering him in this at bat, just in. And I'm sitting here waiting like, dude, he's going to go away, right? He's got to go away next. Gets to a 3-2 count. Tries to go inside again. Instead, leaves it up and in over the plate, though. And holy smokes. Jordan Walker, the word I used was eviscerated into the night. Like an absolute missile. 108 off the bat, 425 feet. Hits off the back of the visitors' bullpen. Just destroys this pitch. And it was a beautiful swing. And I love the fact that when he got it, he just didn't miss it. And that's what you're hoping for, where he was probably looking away like I was thinking, that they were going to go away from him. But he got it in and was able to, rotate and get his hips turned and bam, just smashed it. Later on, they learned from that and they ended up catching him looking on a fastball over the plate to strike him out when he thought they were going to go away. They had been hammering away with his slider, and then they got him with the fastball and fooled him. But, it's a process. It's a process, and you can see him in his at-bats trying to figure things out. And, he's guessing along. He's like, all right, they're doing this. They're doing it. You can see it. You can watch it in his eyes that he's going through it all. He's thinking it through. And that's what this time of the year is for. That's all we can ask of Jordan Walker right now. 4th home run in September, which leads the club. So it was awesome to see. It was quite the sight. Later in the 8th inning, you get the leadoff single by Wynn. Burley walks, and then here comes Goldy Nado again. And again, I'm not down on these guys. I want them to succeed. And when they don't, because they're swinging at the first pitch in situations, but this time they both have productive at-bats, right? They don't get hits, but productive at-bats, which is good. A couple of deep flies, one to right, one to center. Mason Wynn comes around and scores. Cardinals are up 3-1. That's how it ends. Bullpen, great again after Lynn. Liberatore worked out of some trouble in that inning that he pitched. He was on the wrong side of that bad non-third strike call. Curveball, top of the zone. Was a strike. Should have been called a strike. Call the ball. What does the guy do instead? Because he gets new life, hits a double, right? Then you get a single, second and third, nobody out, and you got Libby on the ropes, and things could have really gotten out of hand there. Like, things could have just started to crumble for Libby. And, you get a great job by Pedro Pages and Dusty Blake. They come out to the mound. They calm him down. They talk to him a little bit. Decide, here's what we're going to do. It was awesome. Libby calms down and gets out of it. Just brilliant stuff. Great job by Pages, and a great job by Dusty Blake coming out and chatting with him and going, look, here's what we're going to do. All right. And they have this confidence in him now. And you can see Liberatore's got confidence in himself. So that was awesome. Of course, you get Ryan Helsley at the end of the game. Finishes it off in the 9th inning, his 45th save, just 3 away from Trevor Rosenthal's team record of 48. Cardinals move back to 1 game over the 500 mark at 76-75. 11 games remaining, guys. Can they avoid the back-to-back losing seasons? I think they can. You got more with the Pirates, and then you got Cleveland. You got the Rockies still coming up. So I think they can do it, but we'll see. We'll see. But hopefully you guys enjoyed everything last night. And, we're back at it again tonight against Sonny Gray. We'll get the start at Busch Stadium, which is someplace he's pitched very, very well. Jake Woodford, I think, is supposed, former Cardinal Jake Woodford, supposed to start tonight, I think, is what I read. So I don't think he'll get a standing ovation from the crowd, but he'll be on the mound again, presumably for Pittsburgh tonight. So there you go. That's what's going on. Thank you guys for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. We're back at it tomorrow. If you haven't already, give me a follow on Twitter, X at @LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Help our channel and love for the Cardinals grow. Specifically, when you hit the like button, it really pushes things out there for us. So I would appreciate any help you guys can give us as, we're getting through this grind of a 2024 St. Louis Cardinals season. And we'll start talking about off-season moves before you even know it. So make sure you do that for me. I would appreciate that. You're the best fans in baseball for a reason. I will see you next time on Locked On Cardinals. Have a good one.